So this is our chapter Diversity in Living Organism, which include variety of animals, plants, microorganisms, etc. So what do you mean by diversity? Diversity means variety. Variety in living organism, that we know that living organisms are not in the same form, same structure. There are variety in their body structure, their living habit, their food habit, their habitat. So there are lots of varieties in living organism. We can use another term for biodiversity in living organism, that is biodiversity. We know that diversity means variety, bio means living organism. So variety in living organism. So here in this chapter, especially we are going to study about classification. What is classification? Why the classification is important? Before going to study classification, we should know why we need to define, why need to classify the animals into different groups. I will be giving an example. You imagine you are in the library. You need one book from the library, but all the books are kept in one place. All the books are shuffled and kept in one place. That books include maths, physics, chemistry, biology, history, politics, languages like English, Hindi, Arabic, Malayalam. These all the books are kept together and you need to take one particular book. For example, you need to take biology book which gives information about diversity in living organism. Can you take the book very easily from that group of books? It will be difficult. So there we need a classification. You just imagine the library. You know that library will be having so many shelves and according to the subject the books are kept. So we can go and easily we can take our book. So they are the organized manner of book according to their subject. So here the classification of living organism is classifying the living organism according to their similarities and dissimilarities. Did you understand? The classification is based on similarities and dissimilarities. So classification is the arrangement of organism into categories. So first attempt, the classification of living organism, the first attempt was done by the famous philosopher, Greek philosopher Aristotle in the century, 4th century. So he classified animals based on their habitat. Based on their habitat. What do you mean by habitat? Habitat means the place where the animals live. So Aristotle classified the animals based on the habitat. Like animals, those who are living on land, in water and in air. So he classified. It was a simple classification. By looking we can think that yes, it is a simple classification. He has organized the animals into 3 different groups. But is this classification is scientific? No. This classification is organized, but it is not in a scientific way. For example, if you are taking animals, those who are living in water. There are a variety of animals living in the water having different characters. For example, starfish, blue whale, fishes, octopus. By looking, we can see different characters are there. The organisms are having different characters, but the common factor is they all are having the same habitat. That is only the common thing. So this classification was irrelevant, but he was started the idea of classifying the animals. Later you may be knowing the scientist Carolus Linnaeus. The scientist named Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus is the second, another scientist who has given contribution to the classification. So, what he has done, he has classified two kingdom classification. He classified the animals and plants into two different groups. Kingdom animals and kingdom plants. So, he has classified the animals into two kingdoms, like kingdom Animalia, animals, and kingdom plants. So there also you can see the animals and plants are not in the same character. So this classification also not up to the point. So the another scientist, the present classification was done by Robert Whittaker. Before going to Robert Whittaker, there is another scientist. His name is Ernst Haeckel. Ernst Haeckel. Ernst Haeckel, he has added one more kingdom into this two kingdom classification. The scientist Ernst Haeckel added one more kingdom. That kingdom is kingdom Protesta. Kingdom Protesta. Sorry, it is I. Kingdom Protesta. So, what was his contribution? Ernst Haeckel told that, the previous scientist told that there are two kingdom classification, that is kingdom plants and kingdom animals. But Ernst Haeckel told that there is another kingdom, kingdom Protesta, where we can include all the unicellular organism. So, kingdom Protesta, kingdom Protesta is brought by, who has given this kingdom? Who has given? Ernst Haeckel. Ernst Haeckel told that along with kingdom plants and kingdom animals, there is another kingdom, kingdom Protesta. So, this three kingdom classification has contributed by the scientist Ernst Haeckel. But here there is a problem that all the unicellular he has included in kingdom Protesta. The unicellular organism like bacteria, cyanobacteria, like protozoa. So he has included all this unicellular organism into kingdom Protesta. So another scientist, he came and his name is Robert Whittaker. His name is Robert Whittaker. He told that thus all the unicellular organism will not include in kingdom Protesta. So Whittaker told, no, bacteria won't come under Protesta. The unicellular organism bacteria, it will not come under Protesta. Because, see, this bacteria, the another scientist, Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker told, this all the unicellular organism will not come under kingdom Protesta. As for example, bacteria. This bacteria is lacking nucleus. In previous classes, you studied about the structure of cell. So, structure of cell means there will be a outer, in animal cell there will be outer cell membrane, and in center there will be a nucleus. Inside the nucleus, the genetic material will be present. It is in case of animals. So, cell membrane and nucleus. So in between this portion is called cytoplasm. You imagine an egg. So egg, that yellow color part will be the nucleus, and the after the shell, when you remove the shell, one thin layer will be there, no, that is the cell membrane or plasma membrane, and the white color semi liquid portion is cytoplasm. So in bacteria there is no nucleus. So for that kind of organism, that also you already studied, that prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes means pro, before. Karyotes means nucleus. Karyotes means nucleus. So here eukaryotes means, U means true. Karyotes means nucleus. So there is this eukaryotes having a true nucleus. True nucleus means this nucleus. This nucleus is having outer membrane. This nucleus is having outer membrane. That membrane that you studied in smaller classes, nucleus is again surrounded by a nuclear membrane. So with nucleus with nuclear membrane is called true nucleus. So eukaryotes have true nucleus, but that is lacking in prokaryotes. This true nucleus is lacking in prokaryotes. The prokaryotes is not having this nuclear membrane. Then what will be? In your textbook, page number 83, there is a diagram of bacteria. You look this diagram. See, cytoplasm, this is cell wall. This bacteria is having cell wall like plant cell wall, and flagella, everything is there, cell wall and cell membrane, and there is no nucleus. There is no nucleus, and the genetic material, this RNA and DNA are the genetic materials. Here in bacteria, this RNA is scattered in the cytoplasm. RNA is present in the cytoplasm. It is not present inside the nucleus. So like this organism, we can tell prokaryotes. So how can we define prokaryotes? Prokaryotes means the organism which is lacking true nucleus. Or we can tell the organism which is not having nuclear membrane to protect or to cover the genetic material like DNA or RNA. Okay. So this bacteria is coming under prokaryotes, and some other organisms are coming under eukaryotes. So prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms are coming under in the same kingdom is not correct. So next classification has done by Robert Whittaker. The present classification is proposed by Robert Whittaker. That is 5 kingdom classification. Who distributed or who contributed the 5 kingdom classification? Robert Whittaker. Okay, so which are the 5 kingdom classification? It is kingdom Monera. So here he told, no, Protista cannot include bacteria which is not having true nucleus. That is coming under another kingdom, that is kingdom Monera. So kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, you know about fungus. Or kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia. Total how many kingdoms are there? 5 kingdom. So this classification is called 5 kingdom classification. Who proposed the 5 kingdom classification? Robert Whittaker. Okay, this classification is used now by the present generation. But here another scientist, Carl Woese, he observed He observed this classification and he understood that this modification, Kingdom Monera contains so many prokaryotic organisms. You understood what is prokaryotic. So all the prokaryotic organisms are coming under Kingdom Monera. But when he observed the prokaryotic organism, he understood all the prokaryotic organisms are not having the same character. So again, Carl was divided, or we can tell Carl has modified Kingdom Monera into two groups, Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. Eubacteria and Archaebacteria. So Kingdom Monera has modified by Carl in Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. So this is about the classification. The present classification what we are studying is 5 kingdom classification. Again modification has done by Carl in first kingdom Monera. Okay, now we are going in deep in the classification. To study the classification, we need some more steps. So that steps again contributed by Carolus Linnaeus. See, he is the scientist who has make our classification easier. So hierarchy of classification. So he brought the term hierarchy of classification. To understand the classification properly, we need some more steps. So there are kingdom. How many kingdoms are there? 5 kingdoms. Under kingdom, phylum. Animals we can tell, if it is an animal we can tell phylum. If it is plants we can use division. Okay. Then next is class. Then order, family, genus, species. The members will decrease when we are coming down. But the common characters will be more in the last class. That is basic unit of classification. Species is the basic unit of classification which have the members with more similar characters. Okay, more similar characters will be having same species. So species we can tell the basic unit of classification which include organism with more similar characteristics to interbreed and produce their young ones. In species, the interbreed will be between the same species. For example, human being. Human being is one species and animal, another animal like cat, dog and all another species. So human beings, when we are comparing human beings, we have lots of common characters. When we are comparing with us with another animal, for example, we are comparing ourselves with a spider. Lots of similarity or dissimilarity you can see. You can see lots of dissimilarities. So species will include more common character. Okay. So hierarchy of classification. Next is about, before going to this Kingdom Monera and all, there is another scientist we need to know about him. He is Charles Darwin. He is Charles Darwin. He studied about evolution. Charles Darwin, he studied about evolution. He is known as father of evolution and he has collected all the ideas about evolution and he written in his book The Origin of Species. Charles Darwin's the famous book The Origin of Species. In this Origin of Species, he has given his contribution about evolution. He told about evolution. So what is evolution now? Why we are studying evolution under classification? Evolution means the gradual process of developing body design from simple to complex. The gradual process of developing body design from simple to complex, which helps the organism to survive better than the earlier. You may see the famous evolution picture of human being. In that, the human beings before we had some changes, but now we can stand properly, we can use our backbone straight, our posture will be straight, we can sit straight. So before many generation before, the human being cannot sit like that. So there is a gradual changes. The evolutionary changes we cannot see in one generation. We can see the evolutionary changes. We cannot see the evolutionary change. It should be with lots of, after many generation only the changes will be present. He used the he used the proof of fossils that you will be studying properly in 10th standard, about how he has discovered, how he is telling that about evolution. Now you can understand Charles Darwin, he is telling about evolutionary changes. He has given his contribution in the book The Origin of Species. Okay. So here, why we are telling origin of species? That means evolution under classification. So evolution, and there is a connection between evolution and classification. Here we can connect the relationship between classification and evolution. Organisms that have evolved in the same time. 5 kingdom classification, when we are telling this kingdom Monera, according to evolution, this kingdom Monera developed first. So here, organisms that have evolved in the same time frame can be in the same group. This has some changes, and the next classification from kingdom Monera, some changes, some organism had some changes, evolutionary changes. The next is kingdom Protista. So there is a connection between classification and evolution. So classification, the first classification, the organism which formed first. The organisms that have evolved in the same time frame can be placed in the same group. Organisms are classified based on the time of evolution. Okay. Now the next point is, in classification, the older organisms are placed first. These are the order. So we can tell the evolution is telling that kingdom Monera, the bacteria, like the unicellular prokaryotic organism. Unicellular, you know the term unicellular, you studied in the previous classes. So unicellular, the organism which are having only one cell, which we cannot see with our naked eye. So kingdom Monera contain unicellular prokaryotic organism. Okay. So this organism evolved first. The younger organism, like kingdom Animalia, the younger organisms are recently formed and placed in the last group. By looking the classification, we will be getting a connection between evolution and classification. So we can tell human beings evolved most recently. See, we are coming under kingdom Animalia. We evolved most recently and still evolving like our brain. Now we are also evolving. Now also some changes are there. That minute changes we cannot identify now. But after some generation only you can see the changes. For example, our brain capacity is increasing, because we all are using some more technology, and we are the present generation knows more technology. They are more able to use the technology. So we can tell in human beings some more evolutionary changes are happening, like brain capacity is increasing, and some studies are telling that our noses and ears are decreasing. Okay, so these are the changes. We don't know after 100 years how will be the human being looks like. Okay, so there is a connection between classification and evolution. Okay, now we have to know what is classification. So classification of living organism means the arrangement of organism into different groups. So classification is based on similarity and dissimilarity. So today we have discussed about why we need to classify the organism. Okay, we discussed about what is the need of classifying the organism. Okay, you have to prepare note. What is the need of preparing the classification? Okay, next, what are the steps under classification? Which are the scientists? Who all are the scientists contributed in classification? Okay, next is hierarchy of classification. This step. Okay, and what is five kingdom classification? And you need to prepare note about what is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, and what are the connection between evolution and classification. So I think you all are clear about today's class.